UFC 307 took place last night, and there were some absolute banger fights on there. Not really, the card was kind of stale. Check out my full card breakdown. Shameless plug. Anyways, today I wanted to go through all the notable fights on this card and kind of match make the next fights to make in each weight class based on my personal opinion and just what makes sense in each division and the rankings. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and match make some of these fights. Now, if you're looking for like Court McGee's next fight, click off the video, buddy. I could care less. I'm only doing the notable fighters on this card. Stephen Thompson lost in the featured prelim to Joaquin Buckley, and honestly, Stephen Thompson, he's 41. He looked pretty good out there still. You're not really going to beat him in a striking match. I don't think there's a lot of exciting fights for him, and I know he doesn't want to fight a wrestler at this point in his career. It's just not worth it. You could fight a guy like Michel Pereira, but I don't see it. I think the big fight to make for his final fight is against Michael Venom Page. I think you could sell it. MVP is way down in the rankings now. Wonderboy was ranked, number 9 or something during this fight. So he's obviously going to get bumped back. Make him fight someone lower in the rankings again coming off a loss. I think MVP makes a lot of sense. It's like a super fight, dream fight. It's one of those fights in the bottom of the rankings that you can get really excited about. And I think it would be a good send-off for Stephen Thompson. It has the potential to be a really boring fight. I think it could be a waiting game because they like to counter each other. But it is still like a dream fight that would suck to be missed out on at this point in their careers. I think Wonderboy would probably get caught by something big by MVP and get knocked out, but I think it's an exciting fight to make. So that's what I'm going to do. Wonderboy versus MVP. Now we'll talk about the winner of that featured prelim, Joaquin Buckley. Now he had a call out that makes this a lot easier for me to do. He called out Kamaru Usman, and I say, why not? Joaquin Buckley, obviously he's only going to be ranked like number 9 or so. He's going to be in the top 10. Usman is still ranked really high, but at this point, who do you give Usman? He doesn't deserve a title fight. He doesn't need to fight someone like Covington. You could have him fight someone like JDM or something, but I think Joaquin Buckley makes sense, and you do JDM versus Ian Gary if Bilal's fighting Shavkat. I think this makes a lot of sense. Usman's also on a 3-fight losing streak, so no matter where he is in the rankings, he deserves to fight down, and I think Buckley would be a great test. Honestly, at this point in their careers, I think there's a chance Buckley gets this one done. Usman's not at all what he used to be. His takedowns aren't going to be very good. His knees are so bad. He's powerful. He's pretty good striking. But I think Buckley could honestly get this one done, and it would surprise a lot of people, and it would keep the division moving. So I like this one. Let's do it. Joaquin Buckley, Kamaru Usman. Now I want to talk about Roman Dolidze, who got the win over Kevin Holland. I think I'm going to do Roman Dolidze versus, I don't know, maybe Paulo Costa. I think that sounds good. I was tempted with the idea of Jared Cannonier. He's also coming off losses. I think it would be good. I think either of those fights make sense. Dolidze versus Cannonier or Dolidze versus Costa. Now, it depends on what the UFC wants. I think Dolidze versus Cannonier is a tough fight. I think Dolidze has a better chance of beating someone like Cannonier than he does Costa at this point. I think if you want to give Costa a win and get him back in that contention, you give him Roman Dolidze. I think I'd rather see that fight just so we can see a younger guy rather than 49-year-old Jared Cannonier get a win. But either way, it would be pretty good. In my notes, I have it, Roman Dolidze versus Paulo Costa. But if it was Jared Cannonier, I wouldn't be mad. And then I have the loser of that fight, Kevin Holland. And I matchmaked him with Vicente Luque. Now, this is a fight I want to take my credit where I get it, because I made this fight a long time ago in one of my other videos, the UFC universe mode that I created, where I just put fights that I think should happen. They're both outside the rankings. They're both exciting. I think this has no chance to be a boring fight. Kevin Holland, Vicente Luque, sign it. Sign it. Why is Vicente Luque trying to fight someone like Nick Diaz? This is a much better fight. I do think there's a world where Kevin Holland just fights unranked bums, though, and gets paid like a crazy amount of money because he's on a good contract, and he could actually beat some of these guys because he is pretty good. He just can't fight a wrestler, clearly. Then we move on to, Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista, he should just fight Merab, because then we just see who can hold each other against the cage longer. I'm just kidding. I'm just salty. I think Mario Bautista, I wish I could discredit him, but he got the win, so he has to fight up in the rankings. Now, I like the idea of Chito Vera taking on Song Yadong in a rematch because they're both coming off losses. I think that first fight was a big robbery. But when I was looking at the rankings, I don't know. It's like, do I matchmake Mario Bautista with Henry Cejudo? I don't think Henry Cejudo would like that fight at all. I think they're going to try to mess with the Sean O'Malley idea even with that one. So I matchmake Mario Batista versus Chito Vera, someone higher in the rankings than Song Yadong. I just think Mario Batista coming off a big win off of Aldo is going to get a higher ranked opponent. I don't know. This one was kind of tough. I don't love the matchup. Maybe Chito and Song Yadong can fight soon, and Batista takes on the winner of that or something, but that's all I got for that one. I'm just so salty at Mario Batista. As for Jose Aldo, he's 38. They're not going to do him any favors. He already had to fight two up-and-comers like this, even though he should have been fighting someone like Corey Sandhagen or something along those lines. Maybe he should have even been fighting Cejudo yesterday. I don't know why he fought Mario Batista. My God. Anyways, maybe if he fights this guy, it'll actually be a fight. Jose Aldo versus Dominick Cruz. Legacy matchup. People have wanted it for a long time since they were in their primes. These are two GOATs of the UFC divisions, and I think it's a fight to make right now. It's now or never for this fight. Jose Aldo, Dominick Cruz. I'm sure one of them, if not both, would retire after it. Sign it. I think Jose Aldo would get this one done. His takedown defense is too elite. He's not going to get taken down by Cruz, and his striking's better in my opinion, especially at this point in their careers. I got Aldo winning that all day, but I think that's a fire matchup to make. Then we have the loser in the co-main event, Raquel Pennington. I think she should fight someone down in the rankings. I was looking at names like Macy Chiasson, stuff like that. Even Caitlin Vieira, who lost to someone I'm going to matchmake later. I think we should see Raquel Pennington taking on Norma Dumont. Now, we just saw Dumont absolutely school Irene Aldana, who even fought for the title in her previous fights. So I think this is a very good fight to make. Raquel Pennington, the former champ, I actually thought she won this fight. It was a terrible fight. I ranted about it in my full card breakdown. You guys can check it out. I was not impressed at all with this fight. I actually think Norma Dumont looked amazing in her fight against Irene Aldana. And I mean amazing. Anyways, God. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Norma Dumont. I think she should get a big fight like this against someone like Raquel Pennington, a former champion. And if she wins, she gets a title shot against the winner of the next fight that I'm making, Juliana Pena, who won the belt by crazy robbery decision. And now we have to deal with her yapping, as Raquel said. Very true. Juliana Pena is the champ. She called out Amanda Nunes. So that's the fight to make. No, obviously not. Don't do that. Amanda could come out of a retirement home and destroy Juliana Pena. These women are not on the same level, and I don't think she's on the same level as the girl who she should really fight, Kayla Harrison. I think Kayla Harrison is much more deserving of a title shot. She's the clear number one contender. She should have been fighting for the title tonight anyways, in my opinion, and I think she's going to absolutely ragdoll Juliana Pena. It is a little interesting. I know Pena's decent on the ground, so that could cancel out some of Kayla's some of her grappling. She's obviously very strong on the ground, but I think honestly too, like, Kayla's just a better striker, and she's not even a good striker. She's better than Juliana. Her leg kicks looked really good against Caitlin Vieira, and we saw how heavy Juliana Pena stands on her front foot. Kayla's going to just destroy her, and we're going to actually have a competent champion in the women's division for the first time since Amanda Nunes. God, please make this fight happen. If Amanda comes back, I'm suing. But anyways, yeah, that's the fight to make, obviously. Then in the main event, we saw Khalil Roundtree put on a heck of a fight against Alex Pereira. Of course, Khalil did come up empty-handed. He walked away with a lot more fans and a lot more respect than people thought they were going to give him going into it. And I was really impressed. I love Khalil Roundtree. I'm very happy for him, but also very sad for him. Obviously, Alex is just so good. But I think the fight to make, I was looking through the rankings. Obviously, we have Khalil Roundtree. He should take on someone like Jamal Hill. That was a fight that was going to happen before injuries and the PED suspension, all that. But I do think Khalil Roundtree should end up getting that Jamal Hill fight. But I don't think Jamal's going to be able to wait that long. Khalil's going to be out for like minimum 6 months after that fight. So when he comes back, have him fight someone like Jan Blachowicz. You know, I think Jan Blachowicz might fight someone like Volkan Ozdemir or maybe like a Carlos Olberg before Khalil comes back. But my main point is whoever wins those fights, give them to Khalil. I think that could either be Blachowicz, Ozdemir, even maybe an Olberg. But I think Khalil definitely deserves like top 10, debatable top 5 names. So I think that's a great fight to make. I actually think Khalil could win that fight. Blachowicz is good, but Khalil's really good. Like, I was very impressed. If he fights like that against most of these other light heavyweights, he'll win. So make that fight happen. If he wins, give him Jamal Hill. If he wins that, maybe run it back with Alex, because I'm sure Alex will still be champion, right? Who knows? Moving on to Alex, we have a lot of people he could actually go up against. I know he's teased the idea of going to middleweight to fight Dricus. I think that's silly. I think he would actually lose to Dricus at middleweight. I think him cutting that much weight, he would get ragdolled. And I've seen someone like MMA Guru actually talk about this. I think if Dricus moved up, Alex would beat him. But I think if Alex moved down, Dricus would beat him. It's a very weird subject, but I actually agreed with that. Alex is clearly not a middleweight anymore, and he knows it. I think he just liked teasing the idea and kind of likes mocking Izzy, obviously. I do think Alex should stay at light heavyweight. There's also the potential he goes up and fights someone like Tom Aspinall, who I also think would beat him, but you gotta make him fight Magomed Ankalaev. Now, Ankalaev is scheduled to fight Alexander Rakic for some reason. I figure Magomed Ankalaev will win that fight. So therefore, let's make Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev for the title sometime next year. I think Alex is going to KO Ankalaev. I think he's going to work with Glover on the takedown defense. As long as you can stay up, it's Alex Pereira. He's going to land something big. And I don't think Ankalaev's going to be able to take it that well. So, those are all the fights to make after UFC 307, in my opinion. If you agreed, let me know down below. If you disagreed, go ahead and tell me. Be nice about it, as you guys, I'm sure, always will be on this channel. Yeah. Anyways, if you like what you're seeing, like the video, comment, subscribe. It really does help a lot. I'm trying to post more, trying to grow this channel. And yeah, I don't know what my next video is going to be, so I'm not even going to tell you an idea. See you later. Have a good day.